Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of GameStop, ticker symbol GME. And so here I am recording this on Sunday, August 11th, after GameStop closed on Friday, August 9th, closing the week at a price of $21.93, being up a little under 1% on the day and being flat in the after hours. And so I'm really excited to be going over the chart in this video because I think that there are a number of things that just happened and will be happening that suggest to me that we could be seeing some violent moves to the upside over the course of the next couple weeks. And so I'm really excited about those things. And those things are the first one, which I'll go over on the chart here, is that we did sweep the lows. I think that what we just recently saw on Monday, the 5th, was a great dip buying opportunity, as I do think that the lows are in there. Another thing is some interesting options activity has happened, and that is also with the monthly options contract expiration coming up on this Friday, August 16th, also known as OPEX. And so with that, I do think that we will be seeing a lot of moves to the upside. And then because of these things, I think that we might actually see a return of Roaring Kitty, whether that is to Reddit or X. I think that we will be getting either a YOLO update post from him, or I think that we will be seeing some more memes posted to X over the course of the week, because I do think that GameStop will be rallying into and following Friday the 16th. And so to get into the chart, before I go over sweeping the lows, I did want to point out 2193. It was higher than the max pain for August 9th. What we can see is that the max pain was 2150, and we did close above 2150. So I think that's good, but I think it would have been better if we closed, in, at least 50-cent increment above that max pain, whether that's 22.50. But, I do think that will be coming for this upcoming week. But I'm going to wait to get into the options because I'm going to get into an unusual whale alert, which will take some time. So I did want to first go over the chart here. And so looking at the chart, we can see that the all-time low was $9.95, hit on April 16th. We did not sweep that low, but the low following this big move up to market hours 64.83 hit on May 14th. The low following that was 17.70. And so you might look at the chart and think, well, we didn't sweep those lows. The low on Monday, August 5th, was 18.73, so we're more than $1 above that level. But if we look at the 1 hour time frame, we can see the pre-market pricing. We did hit a low of 1756. So not only crossing over that 1770, sweeping that prior low, we nearly got to this gap fill at 1746, hitting a low just 10 cents above that. And so while it would have been nice to see that gap being filled during the pre-market, not all gaps are filled, and so I think that we might be looking at a gap that gets left behind before the next massive rally. And so now coming back to the daily time frame, we can see that low here. And also I did want to point out this level. It stood out to me for quite a while. It is the 786 from this Fibonacci retracement, going from that low of 995 up to the high of 64.83. One of the reasons why that level has stood out to me is because, it's got a 69 in it, 2169. But also that has served as a good level, for us to be accumulating at. Following this retracement, we did dip below it, coming down to as low as 1770, and that is also including pre-market pricing. So that was the low following that. We did sweep that low over here, but for the most part, following this pullback, we have been above that 786, and we are currently above it now. So if we get any dips below that level, I think that is going to be an excellent dip buying opportunity because, the dip that we hit on the 5th, that's behind us. We got to be moving forward. And so from this, I also have marked on the chart here this red line at 23.41. That is Roaring Kitty's average based on his most recent YOLO update post on Reddit. 23.41. And so we are trading below that average, but there is some options activity for the expiration coming up on the 16th with a strike of 23.50. So I do think that we might be moving higher than this red line. But before I get into that and to the options activity, I did want to go over this Fibonacci retracement that I have drawn up here in white because I think it might inform us on some levels that we should be paying attention to. And one of them is going to be the 236 here. That is at $25.64. That does correspond with a good amount of consolidation here. So it's quite possible we will be seeing that acting as resistance. However, a lot of that consolidation is actually below that line. So if we do break above this red line at 23.41, I think that 25.64 could actually be acting as support rather than resistance. And similar to that, we can see that 382 here at 29.91 or right around $30. We did get, this pivot high here on July 17th, which was at 29.79. And so I do think that also, the 382, maybe it initially serves as resistance like it did on the 17th, but I do think that could be acting as support because we have this pivot high here, this consolidation over here below that level. And so I think that could be acting as support. Also, the 50% retracement at 33.36 did get a wick up to that level, hitting a high on June 12th of 33.70. Just above that level, maybe that acts as support because there is that wick there, but there's really not that much consolidation below it, so I would expect that to be more likely acting as resistance than support. Then we have the golden pocket here, ranging from 36.82 up to 37.76. The 786, which is commonly retraced to, that is at 41.74. I think it'd be great if we got price up there, nearly doubling current price, so that would be awesome. And then we do have these other levels with this high being hit on June 7th, that being at a price of $48. Maybe we are going to be testing that in the near future, and maybe we get up to the 1618, that is at a price of $66.09. Similar to this prior high, maybe we are to blow past that, maybe over the course of the next month. Who knows? And with that being said, now I'm going to start talking about some of the options activity. And first, I am going to talk about the max pain for this upcoming Friday on August 16th. Max pain is $22. And if we look at, current price, we're right around there. So we only got 7 more cents to go. And I do think that we will be pushing the price higher. And a big reason for that is because I got an alert on Friday for some unusual whales activity. That is for this contract here, a GameStop call with a $23.50 strike that expires this coming Friday on August 16th. And so I am not trying to say that this is a good contract to buy. The expiration is coming up, so it is very risky. This is just some data that could be suggesting that we're going to be seeing some bullish moves. And so I'm just going to go over the details of this as I am learning unusual whales. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. And so what we can see for the day of August 9th, the total amount of volume traded for this contract was 5,364 contracts, and the open interest prior to trading on Friday was 1,110 contracts that were open going long GameStop. And then so the average fill price for these contracts on Friday was 47 cents. Each contract represents 100 shares, so that's actually a cost of $47 per contract. And the total premium traded for the day was over $250,000. But not all of that was bullish. Some of it was bearish. And so of the open interest being right around 1,000, we can see that the bid volume and the mid volume represents about that open interest. So that is either bearish or neutral activity being equal to the prior open interest. But if we look at the ask volume, that is 4 times the open interest and about 4/5 of the total volume traded on Friday. So that is very bullish. And looking at this graph here, we can see this massive order that came in at around 2:30 p.m. Eastern on the 9th. And I'm actually going to pull up the calculator app so I can go over some of these numbers and hopefully make them make sense for you guys. And so for this order, we can see that the bid and mid volume was 0. So this is only bullish, only buying these calls. And the ask was 3,474 contracts with an average fill of 47 cents. So I'm going to multiply that by 47 cents. And because each contract represents 100 shares, we can multiply that by 100 and we get 163,278. And so we can see that the candle premium there was 163,278, which is the number that I got in the calculator. So that is what, all of those numbers mean. And, that looks pretty bullish that there's over $160,000 betting on GameStop going to a price of $23.50 or higher by this coming Friday, August 16th. So that suggests to me that price could be going a lot higher, not only because of this options activity, also because the monthly options contracts expire this coming Friday. We did close this week what looks like to be above max pain, and I suspect we will be closing well above the max pain of $22.50 for this upcoming Friday on the 16th. And if we are closing above $23.50, that's a lot of contracts that are going to be closing in the money. And I suspect that because if we look back at this, we can see that the average fill here was 47 cents. What was the average fill at the end of the day? 47 cents. So back at that ask price, there hasn't been any selling of this. There wasn't any selling up at the top here. And so there's still great opportunity for this contract to be going up over the course of the next week. And if I do look at the options table here, looking at calls with the expiration of August 16th, we can see the strike here of $23.50. The ask side, or the premium to buy that contract, is 47 cents. But if we do look over at theta, which is the decay over time, we can see that the decay is about 6 cents. So these contracts may be worth around 41 cents or $41 at open on Monday. And if we are to be seeing a continuation of this bounce, that this sweep of the lows during the pre-market on the 5th was a way to spook retail out of their positions, I think that was really just a great dip buying opportunity. I think that we are going to see a continuation of these up moves that we have seen, and I think that we will likely be closing this week above $23.50, above Roaring Kitty's average, finding one of these levels as support, if not breaking higher to getting to these levels of resistance. And I think in the coming weeks or maybe coming month, we might be getting back to the 60s, maybe 66.09, maybe to triple digits. And so I'm just really excited about the GameStop chart and learning more about unusual whales, sharing that data with you guys. I hope that's interesting and informative for you guys. But those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.